Lawmakers from Chad's opposition parties have filed a petition for a vote of no confidence against the Prime Minister in an attempt to remove him and his government from office. They accuse him of mishandling the financial difficulties that the country is facing and the measures taken to save money. Chad has suffered from the current drop in oil prices. Eljima Abdurrahman, an opposition member of parliament, says that Prime Minister Albert Padaki and his government has taken a series of measures without consulting civil society or the opposition. Among the measures they are angered about is the cancellation of financial aid for students. There have been budget cuts to several ministries, and many officials have also seen some of their allowances frozen. But Ali Kolotu, an MP from the ruling party, has called the opposition's move a non-event. Analysts say the vote of no confidence has little chance of passing, as a majority of the members of parliament are from the ruling party. Niger, a vast, largely desert nation in Africa, presents the starkest example of Africa's challenges with migration to Europe. Its population is projected to more than triple by 2050, according to the latest UN figures. However, frequent droughts in the country has led to hunger, while low investment in education means a dearth of skills.
European Union leaders meeting at a Brussels summit to discuss controls on irregular immigration will endorse a stepping up in a tough approach to African governments and people, hoping to nip in the bud a feared surge in migrants crossing the Sahara and sailing from Libya to Italy. However, analysts say as long as population growth in African countries outstrips their ability to educate, house and employ their citizens, large numbers of people will continue to brave the deserts and seas to escape.
Let's take the case of Niger. How many schoolrooms does Niger need to build every year just to maintain enrollment rates? 3,000. And how many did it manage to build last year? Just over 800. So it sounds like a tremendous achievement. We've built 800 new schoolrooms, but actually your enrollment rate went down. Why? Because the population is growing so quickly.
Niger's location in the largely unpoliced sands of Sahara also makes it a draw for migrants. They come from across Africa hoping to be smuggled to a better life in Libya or Algeria or even the Mediterranean to Europe. In doing so, the migrants bring cash to Niger, a country that has repeatedly proved unable to feed itself. The International Organization for Migration, IOM, expects migration through the Agadez region this year to reach 300,000, more than twice the 120,000 it estimates came through in 2015.
50% of the population is under 18 and 74% is under 24. So it is a very young population, very dynamic, that wants to move, that has always moved for cultural reasons. So I don't think we will be able to stop or limit migration without a solid economic and social plan. For the IOM, migration is a source of development, so it's not about blocking migration, it's about better managing the flows and to give real opportunities.
EU officials hope to deter migrants from making clear that life as an illegal immigrant in Europe is hardly better than staying in Africa. But that message is yet to filter down.
The police in Cote d'Ivoire's main city of Abidjan have arrested several opposition leaders protesting about a new constitution. The police fired tear gas as they tried to disperse the protesters, saying the demonstration was not authorized. The new constitution, which was passed by lawmakers last week, removes age limits and erases nationality rules for the presidency. Backed by President Alassane Ouattara, the text also scraps the requirement that both parents of a presidential candidate must be native-born Ivorians. This clause barred Mr. Ouattara from running for the post in the past, but opponents said the changes will help him to cling on to power. The constitution will now go to a popular vote on October the 30th. Libyan forces in the city of Sirte have exchanged fire with Islamic State militants in the Giza Baria district as part of the final push to oust the militants from their former North African stronghold. This comes as Libyan forces are close to ending a 6-month campaign to liberate Sirte from Islamic State. The militants took over the city more than a year ago after taking advantage of factional infighting that emerged after the fall of strongman Muammar Gaddafi in 2011. Forces, mostly from nearby Misrata city, are pushing ahead, street by street, facing snipers and suicide bombers. They have been helped by U.S. airstrikes since August and coordination with small teams of Western Special Forces on the ground. The loss of Sirte will close down Islamic State's main stronghold in North Africa and its only base outside Iraq and Syria, just as the militant group comes under pressure in the Iraqi city of Mosul. In the meantime, Libyan hospitals are currently facing terrible amounts of difficulties due to a major shortage of medical supplies amid an economic recession that is affecting the whole country. Even Abu Salim Hospital of the country's capital, Tripoli, the only emergency and trauma care hospital, is facing similar problems. Beginning in 2014, when Libya started to see political tensions, many foreign companies who specialize in repairing medical equipment chose to leave the country. Due to this reason, equipment have been left idle or even abandoned. This is not only a huge waste of limited medical resources, but also a cause for Libyan patients extra suffering. Meanwhile, the Libyan government has had to sharply cut medical budgets because of a worsening economy. Political divisions have also caused a suspension of oil production and a shortage of cash. Sugar is off the shelves at supermarkets across Egypt, with the soaring price of the sweetener catching the government off guard. The state is now rapidly increasing tenders to import more sugar. Take a look.
Borrowing a cup of sugar from your neighbor has rarely been so contentious in Egypt. At supermarkets across the country, sugar has all but vanished, prompting media talk of a crisis and pushing the state to rapidly increase imports despite the acute dollar shortage and soaring global prices of the sweetener. Egypt consumes around 2 million tons of sugar annually, but produces just over 2 million tons, with the gap filled by imports, usually between July and October, when local beet and sugarcane supplies have wound down. But traders said high global sugar prices, which surged 50% over the past year, combined with a rising black market rate for dollars, has made it too expensive and risky for many importers to obtain sugar in recent months.
The last time I had sugar here was in the beginning of September. But after that, it vanished from the markets completely. As a supermarket, I have to go buy the sugar for customers from elsewhere.
The government has set a limit to the amount of sugar subsidized outlets can sell to citizens per month.
The sugar is in there, but I told them we are a family of 3. Let me ask you this. How much can every citizen receive? 2 kilos of sugar, 2 kilos every month, so that we don't go and buy them from outside. Give me my right as a person recognized by the state as deserving of subsidized goods. We are 3 people, and you give us 2 kilos of sugar, so I have to go and buy it for 14 and 10 pounds.
Well, that's Network Africa. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Temitope Fagbemi.